This has been convened for the purpose of the 15th annual State of the Town address. And it accompanies the mayor's status report, which is also in the agenda. And without further ado, let me ask if there's any regrets for this evening, Madam Clerk.
There are no regrets for tonight's meeting.
Terrific, thank you. Council, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, Council and public, it's my pleasure to deliver the 15th State of the Town address. 210 years ago, Indigenous people here began welcoming settlers from all over the British Empire. Soon, they were helping slaves escaping from the United States to settle here too. Today, our Indigenous founding partners are still here, enjoying this land with us. They fish and camp under their Treaty 22 rights. Indigenous people and their thousands also live with us as neighbors and friends. Our Indigenous white and Black settlers created a community with an attractive degree of harmony and prosperity. In 1857, Ontario gave official recognition of Oakville as a town. At Town Hall 160 years later, we fly the flag of the Mississaugas of the Credit beside the flags of Oakville, Ontario, and Canada. We fly these flags together to acknowledge our origins. People from all over the world are attracted to the livability we've created. We offer newcomers a warm spirit of welcome. We offer everyone our founding story so everyone knows what we are part of. We feel sorrow and distress for acts of racism and hatred and intolerance that are suffered across Canada and even here at home. We want our future to be equitable and inclusive for everyone. In this, my 15th State of the Town remarks, let's explore the question, what is the COVID-19 pandemic doing to us? What a time to be alive. To stay alive, we have to stay alert. Alert to the hidden danger of the COVID-19 virus. Even with the vaccines, we stay alert because the virus has proven to be a dangerous, shape-shifting enemy. The virus looks for any gap in our defenses and rides new hosts who will spread the virus to other hosts. We stay alive by changing our very way of life. Masks, physical distancing, careful socializing. Our way of life has always included vaccines. Smallpox, polio, measles. Vaccines are lifesavers. They help us stay alive. 100 years ago, there was no vaccine for the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu killed an estimated 50,000 Canadians in a bit more than 2 years. The COVID-19 death toll is 28,000 after almost 20 months in Canada. Now, the Spanish flu killed an estimated 675,000 Americans. The COVID-19 death toll in the United States is already 725,000. Unfortunately, the United States is becoming a world leader in vaccine refusal after having started to be a world leader in helping to get vaccines made. Our infectious disease doctors tell us the virus is dangerous because it can hide in some of us and inflict death and long-lasting damage on others. And when we relax our vigilance, the virus blooms. This picture of persisting danger is what we should keep in mind as the background image for the portrait I want to paint for you now of the state of our town. Our town's toll from the pandemic has been lighter than our neighbors, lighter than Ontario's, lighter than Canada's, and much lighter than it has been for our giant trading partner and neighbor to the south. That matters because of trade. Our town's largest industry is the Ford Canada Oakville assembly plant. Thanks to an extraordinary act of cooperation at all levels of government and an alert Ford Canada management, 12 months ago, our Ford plant got a new lease on life as an electric vehicle maker instead of being shut down. Canada's auto assembly plants for General Motors and Chrysler products also were repurposed and saved from closure. Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau received from me heartfelt thanks on behalf of our entire town and on behalf of the automayors, the group I founded 13 years ago in the recession, and I still lead. Keeping our auto industry alive also requires staying on alert. Alert to business conditions globally and not just here at home. There's more work to be done to secure the future of this essential advanced manufacturing industry in Canada. Council and I, and the automayors, recognize the value of the industry and the work we need to do to keep it healthy. The Ford Motor Company of Canada announcement amounted to a historic $1.8 billion investment to transform the Oakville assembly complex from an internal combustion car-making site to a battery electric vehicle manufacturing facility starting in 2024. The town successfully advocated for provincial and federal funding of $590 million to help Ford upgrade its assembly plant in Oakville. We have had other surprising economic development success during this second year of the pandemic. And given the pandemic, economic conditions have looked very different than in previous years. We can feel proud of the way Oakville businesses pivoted and innovated throughout the pandemic. Happily, construction continued for new investment, new company arrivals, and expansions. For a third year in a row, Oakville was named one of Canada's best locations to invest by Site Selection magazine. Oakville's innovative companies continue to grow, and we welcome our newest companies and celebrate the businesses that have chosen to continue to invest and expand within our community. We welcome to BDO Canada, Samuel Son and Company, BMO Financial Group, and Kerr's Candy to the town. We saw facility expansions at Habitat Canada, Media Resources, Virox Technologies, Zeton, and Grundfos. These investments created 1,000 jobs. They supported our town's local economic recovery and future growth. Terrestrial Energy marked its 100th hire at its Oakville headquarters, with plans to add 80 more engineers and scientists over the next 12 months. Spark Power's new 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art head office is set for completion next year. Innovation and invention grow in Oakville too. Oakville is home to a cutting-edge genomics company called My Next Health. The company is founded on the research of Dr. Mansour Mohammed. His work has been shortlisted for the Nobel Prize on 2 occasions. The company is led by CEO Dr. Richard Heinzel, a Harvard and Oxford educated specialist in preventive medicine. He was founder of Doctors Without Borders Canada. Doctors Without Borders was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1999. Rehan Huda, an investment banker and CEO of Green Sky Labs, a leading technology incubation company, leads their investment rounds. All 3 are Oakville residents. The company is pioneering new ways to understand and commercialize genetic insights to advance healthcare worldwide. My Next Health recently secured a $150 million financing commitment from a hedge fund in New York City. When they secure their necessary investors, they hope to revolutionize medicine with genomic tools for truly individualized diagnosis and treatment of medical conditions. My economic task force continued to work together to support some of the hardest hit by the pandemic, the small business community. The task force was comprised of Oakville Economic Development Department, the Oakville Chamber of Commerce, Visit Oakville, and the 3 Oakville Business Improvement Associations, the Downtown BIA, the Kerr Street BIA, and the Bronte Village BIA. Our task force worked with our provincial and federal partners to update and extend small business support programs. We advocated for extended patio program rules and regulations, to a loosening of those rules and regulations, and many initiatives to support local business and encourage residents to shop local. And the province, I'm delighted to say, listened to us. We also kept our historic, nationally famous Glen Abbey Golf Course alive. Again, it took 3 levels of government, as well as a historic letter writing campaign by engaged citizens. The 3 levels were the local town council of Oakville and the council of the region of Halton and the province of Ontario. At the announcement 12 months ago of the saving of the Ford plant, the Premier allowed me to remind him of his government's promise to help us protect Glen Abbey. 8 months later, after an amazing letter writing campaign from our very engaged citizens, the government of Ontario said it had decided that there is a provincial interest in conserving the heritage attributes of the Glen Abbey Golf Course. ClubLink withdrew its applications. ClubLink abandoned its appeals of the town's refusals of its applications. Instantly, the protective policies ClubLink were appealing came into full force and effect. In effect, a declaration of provincial interest is a far more powerful provincial tool than a minister's zoning order, the MZO we hear so much about in the news. In the report that accompanies these remarks, you will read of the many other great things Council and I have delivered during the pandemic. Let's turn our attention to perhaps our town's greatest advantage in life, our people. I've already spoken about some. We are a town of caring and accomplishment. We on Council are chosen by you to represent you and fulfill your hopes and dreams for our town. For 4 terms, almost 16 years, you have chosen people with unique attributes and expectations who know how to work together as a team for you and to get results. They know how to listen, maybe life's most important skill. Other mayors tell me they are jealous of how good a council you give me to work with. I thank you for that every day. And you get more than my thanks. You largely get what you want, too. Even when we may not agree, your council has a wonderful ability to blend positions and find agreement. In groups, some of the most helpful words are, how can we change this idea so that you can like it too? Let me give you some examples of the achievements of council. This pandemic has really shown your council how much Oakville residents value our parks, trails, and outdoor space, which is why our council decided to advance more community and outdoor infrastructure for all residents to enjoy. Town Council unanimously approved a refresh to our strategic plan that sets out new actions to help achieve Council's vision for Oakville to be the most livable town in Canada. Members of Council identified 6 priority areas for the town to address in this term of Council. First, ensuring that Oakville's vision for the future is reflected in the Halton Region official plan and the local town Livable Oakville official plan reviews, which by law we must do and we are in the middle of doing. Second, the development of a recovery plan to manage the pandemic recovery period. Third, to continue to promote safe and efficient travel on town roads through implementation of traffic calming, reduced speed limits, active transportation infrastructure, and automated speed enforcement. I'll just footnote here that although last night Council may have postponed for a year consideration of a town-wide speed reduction, when Town Council got done adding community safety zones to the town, a gigantic increase in the part of town governed by a 40-kilometer speed limit became possible. So it's not like nothing was done on the 40-kilometer issue. Quite a lot was done. Fourth, we decided to implement the Digital Oakville strategy with emphasis on offering services online and continuing to reduce the response time for processing development applications and permits. This is a benefit not only to large developers, but also to individual Oakville residents who want to put in a pool, build a deck, or whatever. Fifth, we decided to enhance communications in order to inform the community about the town's programs, services, and decision-making environment. And sixth, we knew we have to continue to identify and implement capital projects that are of interest to the community and that will grow our livability. Ward 2's councilors, Kathy Duddick and Ray Chisholm, gained council support for the town's most extensive park and shoreline redevelopment at Tannery Park. The revitalized Tannery Park continues to be a tourist attraction with an attractive view of Lake Ontario. It's also an attraction for residents from all over town. Everybody values our lakeshore. Both councilors continue to advocate on behalf of the Kerr Street BIA and businesses across their ward. Ward 3 councilors Janet Haslett-Thiel and Dave Giddings supported the 2 phases of reconstruction and the transformation of downtown part of Lakeshore Road East. It is now complete and the road is reopened to vehicles, cyclists, and shoppers and visitors. The Lakeshore Road Reconstruction and Streetscape Project, launched in 2019, was completed over a 2-year period. The town of Oakville received an Excellence in Economic Development Award for its downtown mitigation strategy from the Economic Developers Council of Ontario. The project was selected as a best-in-class example for its unique and innovative approach to construction mitigation. Ward 4 Councillor Peter Longo's leadership on the Community Energy Plan Task Force has been invaluable in the development of future energy Oakville and implementing our community energy plan. His colleague, Councillor Alan Elgar, has been a champion for our town for years and a council member for 21. He was an original member of the Municipal Leaders of the Greenbelt and a recipient of the 2020 Friend of the Greenbelt Award for Municipal Leadership. His advice and experience are helpful to all of us, newcomers and longer-serving members. Ward 5 councilors Mark Grant and Jeff Knoll worked with Parks and Open Space Department to create a capital budget that council could fund to complete the planned activity court area near the intersection of Hayes Boulevard and Georgian Drive. This work includes installation of a full-size basketball court, multiple seating elements, games tables, and related landscaping. Councilors Knoll and Elgar, at 21 years on council, are the deans of council, as they say in legislatures all over the world. The planned acquisition of the surplus Trafalgar Road Reservoir site, give me 1 second here. The planned acquisition of the surplus Trafalgar Road Reservoir site for public parkland, the planned new basketball court at Iroquois Ridge Community Center, and the related conversion of courts at Valleybrook Park to allow pickleball in Ward 6 are examples of councilors Natalia Lischina and Tom Adams's commitment to enhance outdoor recreational opportunities in their ward. Councilors Adams, Duddick, and Grant, at 18 years of service, bring valuable experience to the table. Councilors, Ward 1 councilors Beth Robertson and Sean O'Meara cite the magnificent work on the Shoreline Promenade as an outstanding addition to the quality of life of Ward 1. Everyone who's seen it is astonished at the meticulous engineering and the amazing anchors, those incredible large anchor stones that are protecting the shoreline. This began as an erosion control project and turned into an erosion control plus and beautification and enhancement. And the landscaping isn't done yet. So as pleased as people are with it, I know that they're going to be even more pleased with it as next year unfolds. Councilors Chisholm, Giddings, Lischina, and O'Meara make up the middle of our council's range of experience. And this range gives stability to council. Perhaps the greatest achievement for Ward 7 this term will prove to be councilors Jasvinder Sandhu and Pavan Parmar winning unanimous council support to advance completion of North Park. As a result, we will see detailed design work moving ahead in North Oakville for a community center, library branch, sports fields, and other outdoor amenities, including a splash pad, playground, basketball, skateboard, and BMX bike park, a second artificial turf field, 3 natural turf soccer fields, 2 of which will have dual purpose for use as a proper cricket pitch. This is not bad for first-term council members, a group that includes councilors Janet Haslett-Deal, Beth Robertson, and Peter Longo, all of them doing well. Working together across all levels of government is part of the secret of our town's success. The provincial and federal governments and the town jointly funded 14 projects to modernize our transit system and create a more sustainable community. Projects included the replacement of 57 diesel buses with zero-emission battery electric buses, plus 16 new electric buses to expand the fleet, as well as upgrades to ensure full accessibility for riders. Local members of Parliament, Pam Damoff and Minister Annan, were successfully re-elected a month ago because they continue to listen and deliver for Oakville residents and work well with our provincial partners. Our members of provincial Parliament, Stephen Crawford and Effie Triantafilopoulos, kept their word and made our local campaign to save our world-famous golf course come true. They have brought our concerns to Queen's Park and Premier Ford's desk. They have secured new funding for new schools in North Oakville and addressed our long-term care bed deficit with their most recent announcement of 2 long-term care facilities that are expected to house 640 long-term care beds. I know they will continue to deliver on Midtown Oakville and work with council to fund more community infrastructure. Put simply, our members of Parliament and our members of provincial Parliament have been great to work with. Jane Closey and our dedicated town staff have kept our economy growing, our pandemic under better control than anyone expected, and our finances at AAA strength, among other things. Those other things run from the tiny to the mighty, but it's all in a day's work in Canada's most livable town, where appearances and upkeep also matter to our residents. As we all see in staying alive to enjoy life, some good things take more time than others. One of the resounding successes of this council is our new old downtown, the broad sidewalks, the traditional street furniture, the happy people. Just as I started with a question about the impact of the pandemic on our lives, let me close with a question about the future of our downtown. Everyone asks me, when will Town Square be redone? The answer is, we're ready to go. We want to be sure our downtown businesses have recovered from their sacrifices during construction and during the pandemic lockdowns before we start more construction. The other question I get a lot is what happened to the rest of the Think Big visioning for downtown that I called you all to be part of 8 years ago. That led to a shared community vision for renewed and right-sized downtown cultural facilities, a new library, a new performing arts center to fit our town today and tomorrow as we continue to grow our livability, a little theater, a gallery for our artists, a parking structure with an attraction on top. Because this would be expensive, we empowered Oakville Enterprises Corporation and Oakville Municipal Development Corporation to generate new business dividends that could carry the cost of these projects without new tax revenues. We thought that might take many years, and it has. The talented businesswomen and men on our boards have now achieved the critical mass needed to reliably expect that increase in dividends. Therefore, I'm calling on the community and on council to begin the process of a final design concept and timetable for the Downtown Cultural Hub vision. Let's agree to take it from vision to the next stage and call it the Downtown Cultural Hub project. Our motto, Avance, is just a fancy word for keep moving forward. We've shown that Oakville truly does keep moving forward even in adversity. The threat of COVID-19 is now reduced thanks to vaccines, but it's not gone. So we must stay alert to stay alive. Follow public health guidelines. get your vaccines if you haven't yet. Encourage and assure those you know who are hesitant. Let's have no more deaths and no more lockdowns. Let's all stay alive. Thank you for your time and attention. Council and I look forward to continuing to serve you. Please keep well, stay safe, and let us know of any chance to be helpful to you and yours with the programs and services of the region of Halton and the great town of Oakville. Thank you very much. Council, if you have questions, I'm happy to take any, and if you have a motion to receive the report and the remarks, I'm ready for that too. Councilor Hazlitt-Deal and Councilor Chisholm, I'll accept that as a motion and a second to receive. Any objection to the motion? Seeing none, that's carried. Thank you. Council, we need to have a mover and seconder for consideration and reading of the confirmatory bylaw. Councilor Longo and Councilor Elgar, thank you. Any objection? There being none, that bylaw is considered and read. And that completes the business of this meeting. And I hope you're gratified that I didn't spend as long as I did the last two times, where I think I passed some kind of record for that only Fidel Castro used to hold. So anyway, or maybe Donald Trump. He's also famous for talking for 3 hours. Thank you, everybody. It's been terrific working with you. I look forward to continuing, and that ends our meeting.